Hey fam, a tip for the audaciously ambitious goal setters. Like myself, I have an abundance of goals. It is overwhelming. Every day I wake up, I swear there's a new goal that comes to mind, and then it's like, okay, I want to start on that because I'm so excited. But then I have all these other things that I'm working on, and then I don't have time to work because I'm working on all my goals, and travel and this and that. Map it out. Set a game plan. Look at it, literally strategize your life. However you want to block it down. I sort of do it in 10 years at a time. I've mapped out really like the next 30 years, maybe even 40, because I kind of time blocked 20 years to raise a family. I don't know if other people think like this, but let me know if you do, because I think that's why my friends laugh at me, because I get so overwhelmed, because I'm not just thinking about today and tomorrow. I'm literally thinking about the next 40 years and how am I going to live my best life and provide the best life for my family. Now, I know I'll have a partner whenever that lovely man shows up. That'll be great when the time is right. But from a very young age, really from 18, I've been so excited to have a family. But I obviously was a little bit too young. Maybe not obviously, but in my mind, I was a little bit too young. I don't quite actually want kids at 18, more closer to 30. So I've mapped out what can I do to prepare so that I'm ready to be on my own schedule, so that when I have children, I'm raising them. Yes, I might have a nanny to help, but I am there for them. Which is a huge aspect of why I just moved to London and have always wanted to live in Europe. Now I will get to Europe at some point when the time is right, when the universe flows me in that direction. It's a bit challenging. There's no working visa. I couldn't get a working visa for Europe. Well, I didn't try that hard, but whatever. We're here now. 2 main words that I see, that I've read a lot, heard motivational speakers, all the successful people, the number one thing they say is focus. Focus on your goals, and that's how you will achieve them. Now, for somebody like me, as much as I tell myself to focus, it's quite challenging. Not because I'm not driven. I'm extremely driven. It's wild. I have so much drive within me. It's a burning fire. It's that I want to do so many things. So many things, you guys. So I've mapped it out, because otherwise it's too overwhelming in your head and then you don't act. What helps me is a sense of urgency. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't put so much pressure on yourself, but if it makes you do something, then great, go for it. So I've mapped out, okay, plan for the family around 30, start to settle down, find the home, find the man, whatever that might be, around 29, 30. Which is why I had such an urgency to get myself over to London/Europe, is because I'm 27. So I thought time's a ticking. If I want to be prepared to have a family by 30, but I want this life experience first, I did consider not having it. But then I thought I don't try not to regret anything, but I probably would regret never moving over to London when I'm older. And a huge reason that so many goals have come from my future family is a really fun one. So my mom had a wild life. She is just a wild, successful, loving, genuine woman. Every night she would put us to bed. I swear she would tell us a new story for like 10 years. She had so many stories, and they're absolutely wild. I always wanted to be able to give my kids just fun, crazy bedtime stories, like the life experience that I had. Now that I'm actually in the life experience, it's so much more interesting to understand. Before I would just listen to my mom's stories. Now I can visualize them and truly imagine myself in it, like having my own. I hope this is all making sense. So the tough times that come up, say perhaps moving across the world, finding a new job, an apartment, friends, literally everything, bank account, cell phone, all of that jazz. It sounds so fun from the stories, and it still is fun, but when you're actually doing it, man, oh man, it is a challenge, but it's a beautiful challenge. So before I left, I contemplated, another one of my goals is to be in Forbes 30 under 30. And that's sort of a gift to my dad. I feel like it would make him really proud, because growing up he'd always put the magazine on my counter and say, Sky, this is you, or this is gonna be you. And I was like, okay, great, because there's not really anything I could give to them material wise that would truly make them happy, because they can probably do that on their own. I think what makes a parent most proud and happy and fulfilled is the success of their child. Now, when I say the word success, that could look completely different to each individual. My parents are both entrepreneurs, so yeah, it's kind of usually along the lines of creating something. So I debated that, because I do have, I'm moving along with my business, my book, all is well, and I thought I could continue to grow it in Vancouver, and I'd probably be more successful because I have a much larger network and it's just easier. But then I might miss this time in my life moving over to Europe, because if I meet someone in Vancouver and then we have a family, then I'm probably not going to move to Europe. So the time is now. So I had to sort of weigh out those options. Forbes, adventure. I thought, well, now's the time. I'm 27. Realistically, it's not the end of the world if I don't be in Forbes 30 under 30. I still believe in miracles, so I know I will. That's not a problem. But I've also got time. What I've recognized now is I can continue to build that just as much over here. It might be a bit more challenging, but I am planting so many seeds already that it might actually be for the best, and it will be for the best, because everything's always meant to be. Like, how many of you guys actually continue listening to this? I don't even listen to them. I know I say things that people are meant to hear because I try to channel what others are meant to hear. But I know I'm all over the map, so just bear with me. Map out your life. Write out your top goals. Write out the next 20, 30, 40 years. And then strategize them. I've kind of time blocked 20 years for having a family, because realistically I want a stable life for my kids, so I'm not going to be, exploring Europe every vacation or trip or whatever it might be, because the kids aren't going to remember that, and it's quite challenging with young kids, and it's just a different experience. So I set a goal to hit 50 countries by 30, because then I thought, okay, that little travel bug will be satisfied for however many years, and once the kids get older, like now, we're traveling with my parents, and it's so much fun. It's like a little crew of 5 adults, and we're all family members, and everyone gets along, and it's easy. You can talk, you can not talk. It's honestly the best thing in the world. But it's going to be time until I do that. So, have my adventure, go back to Vancouver at whatever point, kind of around 30, or maybe I'll meet someone somewhere else, and who knows where I'll end up. However, I can still build my business while I'm having my little babies. Not obviously as much, but the creative aspect can still be there. The point of this is, just because you have so many goals and you can't do it all at once, because we really can't, you need to pick one to focus on, it doesn't mean the other ones won't happen. You just need to expand the time frame. Map them out for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. What used to be challenging for me too is because I have so many ideas. I wanted to start a clothing company and this and that, write a book and a planner and all that jazz. Every year I'd be a little discouraged because I thought, oh, well, I didn't start this and I didn't start that. And it's like, well, okay, Sky, that's because you're looking at a 12-month time frame. What does Tony Robbins say? You can, I forget the quote, but you can think you do a lot more in 1 year than... Ugh, never mind. Scratch that idea. I forget. I want to say it's a trend, me just sort of stopping in the middle of my thought process and then ending the podcast, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, I made a book, you guys. It's called Master Your Mindset. It's absolutely extraordinary. It's a work of art. It's a masterpiece. Obviously, I'm my number one hype woman because I've been using it to guide my life. And I have it here, actually, because I just spoke to another author, which is so exciting because I haven't spoke to anyone before, and it was... where do you start when you're writing something? But write down all your goals. Write down a list of 101 goals for life. And then map them out. Okay, what can you put off for sort of 20 years? Consider your age, consider your health, consider all of these things. I also used to want to be in the Olympics because I thought, why not? That'd be cool. And then I thought, well, I kind of already passed that age. I could do it, but I probably have to give it everything and not do anything else that I'm doing. And I thought, well, I don't really want to do it that much, so I won't do that. So it's not off the list because I believe in miracles. So you never know what will happen. But it's not one of my top goals for this year, let's say. Then I also wanted to be an actor. I am an actress. I have done stuff when I was young, but I wanted to do it again. Then I wondered, is that really what I want to do? Because I actually like being me. It was more for my grandma. A lot of my goals are for other people too. But I thought, okay, I can still do that just because why not? I think we're here to experience all life has to offer. And like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's done so many different things. But at 19, they wouldn't have expected that. But at 60, he's the governor. So I've put off acting for a later stage in life because I thought acting is more internal. Yeah, be fit, that's great. Always maintain my health and fitness, but I don't necessarily have to be in my peak performance to achieve that goal. So I pushed that back for later. I've still taken acting classes over the years because it helps with public speaking and everything else that you do and better understanding yourself and connecting with others. So I highly recommend everyone take an acting class just because. So then I broke it down. Okay, so now I'm kind of in the 30-year mark, from now until 30 years. Well, family's huge. We know that. Okay, I can build my business as I'm with my family. It doesn't have to be as fast as I want it to be. Yeah, Forbes 30 under 30 would be great, but it's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen. Still striving for it, but that we can push back a little bit. I'm still working on my business, but it's not my number one. I mean, it is kind of my number one focus, but ultimately kind of gathering this life experience is my number one focus. So then we broke it down. Really, that took away 20 years. Now we're kind of in the next 3 years. That's how I strategized my life. And I thought, okay, the number one priority right now is to go see the world. I've seen a lot of the world, but it's just this burning desire in me that I just need to go all the time. Like it's really, when's my next trip? That's kind of always what I'm thinking about. So that pushed me to get out of Canada real quick. I'm a bit sporadic sometimes, which is why maybe it's not as mapped out the next stage. But that's because sometimes you can't figure it out beforehand. You just have to get there. You just have to start. You have to take the leap. Let the universe catch you. I've fortunately have amazing friends. So I had a friend to stay with, and now I'm renting another friend's place. So it's all working out. But the pieces, the steps will fall in place once you take the step, but you have to take the first step. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Moral of the story. Draft out your life, literally your whole life. Map it out, and then forget about the next 30 years and just focus on these few years. Still kind of prep for the future, invest, do all those things to set you up for a good life, but then let life flow for you. Let the divine be a co-creator. I have all these goals, but then there's so many times too where I just sort of take a step back and I let go, and I think I'll let the universe do its magic as well, because maybe this life will look completely different, but I've set out a target, so at least I know that I'm swimming in the right direction, or in a direction that I've created for myself. But now an opportunity to move to Portugal, or we don't even know yet. That's very early ages. But I couldn't have planned for that before. Last year, I was not considering Portugal as one of the cities to live in, or countries, a city to live in Portugal. You get it. And now I'm just flowing. So equally, map it out, strategize, have structure, and then within the structure, create freedom and flow for yourself. Love you.